Welcome to Wildcards. We are the D-Gens of crypto, where we talk about all things on the block. Enjoy.
So, yo, this song, right? Oh, is this shit working or what? Come on now. Yo, if y'all don't know, that motherfucking song is about going to Sin City, Las Vegas, gambling your life away, chasing a dream. Come on now. And if you don't know, you might still not know, and I don't give a fuck. It's all right, because you know what's happening right now. You know what's happening. It's that night of the week. Shit happens on this night of the week. It's fucking... And we're listening to Wild Cards. We're listening to fucking Wild Cards.
Let's go.
Damn, you sound sexy tonight, CB.
Honestly, thanks for noticing. I'm feeling pretty fucking sexy right now. It's just that's the way it fucking is right now. Tell me again. One more time. Thank you.
Not every night, though? He doesn't sound like on every Wild Cards?
He does, but he's feeling extra spicy tonight, I'm saying.
Extra spicy. I got a 16-year-old kid's gaming headset on my head, so I'm as crispy as crisp can be. Shit's going on. Fucking Roy got shit popping as he usually do, because shit wouldn't happen if he didn't. And like, yo, it's that night. So just in case y'all don't know, it's Friday night, right? It's like 8 o'clock Eastern time. Fart's already laughing because she knows what I'm going to say. Y'all listening to the Wild Cards. And I'll do my best to read from the notebook, and I won't even flex my Boston accent too heavy. Just saying, because I know that people been vibing or not vibing with it. I don't know. Fart. So, like, check it. We got Wild Cards. It's D. Clay, Hemi, Cobra. We got Hecka. We got Baba Booey. We got Big Kahuna. We got Taxi. We got Roy. We got the Beto, and you know...
The one and only.
We got the Cosmic Adonis. He shows his face in that aphrodisiac from the Intergalactics going on. You know how we do. So the Wild Cards are a group of fucking 10, 12, 15, 20. I can't count, but it's a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. We fucking kick it at DMs and argue with each other and complain and give each other what we think is alpha, but it might or might not be. And then shit goes on and we're friends again, and then we're mad at each other and shit gets real. And Friday, to be honest with you, it started out just being like, let's bring it to the voice chat. And like, you know how we do. It became a fucking party. It became a party. And people fucking show up. And projects show up. And I'm going to tell you right now. Thank you, Roy. So Wild Card. So like a couple times people in the past have been like, yo, Stevie, how the fuck you get into cryptocurrency, right? Now, like, you know, on this fantastic show, right? We talk about everything. We talk about NFTs, stocks, crypto, my mom, money, not in the same sentence, D. Clay. Like, mad shit goes on up in here. It's not financial advice. It's do your own research. We all know we all got a Google button or a Brave or a Photon browser. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I use Brave because I accrue BAT token over time. It's fantastic.
Brave for the win.
But like,
Yes.
so just so y'all know, and in case you don't know, it's like Wild Cards. We run it for like an hour and some change on recorded tip. Then we upload that shiznit to like 5 different or 6 or 7 different podcasts, and then we kill it, restart it again, and keep it moving, unrecorded, uncut, and you know how we do. So like, I don't know, like a decade ago, or probably more at this point, you young motherfuckers, I was playing poker online on Bovada.LV, maybe, I don't know, like whatever. And like, I was loving it. It was great. I was able to like use like Walgreens or Walmart gift cards to buy tokens and shit, like, or buy, you know, money on that, whatever, play my poker. After doing that for a little while, they didn't accept that anymore. I don't know why. And they accepted this shit called Bitcoin. Again, this is like 10 or something years ago, right? I'm like, all right, word. So I'm going to check this shit out. So, like, I open up a Coinbase. There was only Bitcoin on there. Maybe there might have been Ethereum. Maybe not. I think that came afterwards. And then Litecoin came in right after that as well. And I was just grabbing some Bitcoin for one reason, was to play fucking poker online. And so, like, I'd buy like $100 worth and put like 50 on poker, and then blah, blah, and blah, So over time, I'd stack my Bitcoin and I'd piss away some of it, maybe not, on the poker tables.
What was the price of Bitcoin when you were buying it?
Oh shit, it was hilarious. It was like $800 or something like that, right?
Jeez.
So okay.
Jeez.
And it was funny because there were times where I'd look at my phone, I wouldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, I just took out like $200 and I still have like $500 more. What's going on? It was hilarious. But okay, that was, again, 10 years ago. I'm broke now. What the fuck? Okay. So like, I got into crypto originally, moral of the story, to fucking play poker. And I played that song about Sin City from the group OVM. It's called Sin City. It was on a single that we had distributed like globally along with some other tracks. And I think Duder
That was
fucking
a vibe.
Yo, word up, brother. I got mad tracks. Y'all don't even know. Duda knows, I guess. Duda knows my game, apparently. But anyways, so I liked gambling online. It was fun. I'm a slow player. I do tourneys that would take hours upon hours and hours. I wouldn't like the cash games too much, but I played them once in a while for the come up, So that was years ago. Here we are. I had a crypto kitty. I had a fucking stupid egg on the Ethereums. I come over. I'm on the Cardinos, and I'm loving it over here. I met all my homies at the beginning, probably through Ada Punks. That's right. And then we bring us to now where we all got wallets full of NFTs we might do something with, we might not do something with, we might stake something, we might show something off as a PFP, we might print it on a sweatshirt and rock it just saying wink. We could do a whole lot of shit with these shits once in a while, right? And like, that's why I wanted to fucking holler at the homies that are showing up tonight to talk. Now, before I talk to them homies too, just so like, hold your horses, motherfuckers. It's been a busy week, and I haven't hollered at Hemi and Hecka, and I don't know if they want to jump in right now or if they're going to tell me to go fuck myself and keep it rolling. It's really on you, motherfuckers, but I'm stopping the shit right now to ask you if you do want to do that.
We're going to kill the vibe and slow it down a notch?
You tell me. You going to slow it down? Is it going to be bad news? Do you not want to tell us?
Show you the money.
Well, no, I mean,
Show me the money.
I'll be 100 on it. I mean, my overall thesis on everything has still been the same, but short term, I'm kind of bullish for the short term, but just waiting for stuff to play out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm neutral. I ain't gonna hate.
Say no more, Hemi. I'm going all in.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyway. As long as you got that 3-1, you're good. You're made, right?
No. Wrong advice.
But this past week, I mean, it's been pretty quiet. Aside from today, we had non-farms. Essentially, at this point, I think we could have potentially hit peak inflation, although time will tell if that's true or not. But there's still a lot of things I'm still keeping an eye, actually, around with housing, essentially mortgage rates, and watching rental units. Primarily in the consumer at this point, and seeing if these high rates end up making the consumer buckle at this point. So a lot of different things. I've talked about credit cards shooting up, and savings rates being way low at this point. So I'm kind of just really waiting. I know we got the 13th and 14th for monetary policy and for the next core inflation, but at this point, I think that stuff is almost pretty much set in stone, in my opinion. I think at this point, it's just waiting till the next earnings cycle and really seeing what the truth is behind what's really going on. Even like the non-forms that came out today. Again, there's a lot of people on severance packages. I don't think any of those numbers have been incorporated yet. That's a delayed number, but on a positive note, I do think...
That's right, I said hammy.
I do think we are the market's kind of taking the right step as far as potentially inflation coming down. There's still a lot going on, so I'm just trying to provide a little bit of hopium. But my overall general thesis is still, again, that things could look pretty bad in March. But it's a couple months away, and we'll talk about it then.
When's the next earnings?
Earnings isn't until mid-January. It starts off Q4 earnings. We'll start with some banks. Hecka.
Bullish Hecka. Let's hear it. Let's hear the case.
Hecka.
Well, I first said that inflation was peaking. I said that first before when the 8.5 printed, then I said it was 9.1. Said this is probably the peak. So good to see that kind of playing out a little bit. The rates doing their job a little bit. But yeah, CPI is everything. I'm just it feels like it's taking forever, but I'm just waiting for that CPI in about, I think it's 10 days, right? 12.
Yeah, I think it's on I want to say the 13th, and then we got the monetary policy on the 14th.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a big surprise of that making the CPI.
All right, I guess
like a pump leading up to that. Like has like the market like kind of been like priced in now, and like you think like we might like a little bit of a pump like leading up to it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's every direction. So if it's below expectations, it'll cause a bump. If it's above, I'd say probably like priced in and just waiting for market. I don't think anything's going to happen until that comes out, really. But
okay. So
yeah,
Hecka, I got to cut in because your voice is really soft and echoey. I was wondering if you're in the bathroom or the shower, and if you're ready to do what we were talking about earlier in the DMs.
Damn.
I'm just getting it ready.
You gotta do what you gotta do in the bear market. Let's go, baby. Come on, baby. Let's do it.
This is Hecka's song, just saying. Oh, that's the loving sound. Chorus me down. That's the loving sound.
Damn.
Come on now.
There was a good reason why you had an intimate mic tonight, isn't there?
Yo,
it's a little closer, a little hard. I get it.
We're getting Hecka ready for him. Y'all don't even know. I heard Hecka's going to be having a karaoke battle. Just so you know, there's going to be karaoke night sometime, maybe wink, wink at fart, and Hecka battling of some sort. There's got to be something going on. I seen those little tweets you guys got going on about checking out each other's wallets. So I'm going to leave it at that. Or do I? Just saying. Okay. Listen. It's been a beautiful week. I talked about gambling. Then we had Hemi and Hecka tell us that we're not going to make any money. We're all going to go broke, and they weren't going to show us the money.
Show you the money. Show me the money.
Okay, thank you. But besides that, y'all know there's another why we're here for this part of the night.
Rock it up.
Yeah, we're talking about
Rock it up. Rock it up.
Woo! So we're talking with the Cardano. We got the Cardano Crocs Club up in the motherfucker. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, to be honest, this is just me. It really is just me. I've been playing poker on that shit. And the reason why I've been playing poker on it is because I started telling you that I started with Bovada. And, I love poker, haven't played it in a hot minute, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, maybe a month ago or maybe more at this point, I don't know. Hecka and I were just playing some random poker game online together, and he whooped my ass. And so I'm thinking, shit, I missed that shit. So I rolled over to the Cardano Crocs Club, see what was popping, and I jump in on a couple tables over there. And quite honestly, and again, this is not financial advice. Honestly, this is just me because whatever. I played mad poker up in that piece the past week and a half, in the middle of doing this and that, I'll jump in for a handful of whatevers, and it's a fucking good time. So I've seen the project for a while. People talk about these microcosms or these echo chambers or Twitter spaces and all that, right? So Ethereum, we got all these other blockchains, we got Cardano. But some people, I think, don't realize that even in Cardano, there are those motherfucking echo chambers. Because, there's so many projects that are going on that have a lot of shit going on that aren't on my feed. Aren't my homies might not have them as their PFPs, or I'm not seeing that shit pop up. So there's a lot of shit that I just don't know shit about. So, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I wanted the Cardano Crocs Club to show up here, so I can figure out some shit. And again, the homies here, obviously, we're all going to talk and hang out because, for me, we talk about utility, and there's a lot of other projects that, obviously we got fucking shout out to the homeboy fucking D Clay and Reddick, of course. They did an interview tonight with Alley Cats and Goombles, right? And now Goombles all about gaming, NFT gaming, and again, it's gaming, And then NFT gaming, I guess, on the side is what we say, right? But that's utility to actually do with the project. So like you got like OG Crocs, you got like radioactive ones, you got these pixelated motherfuckers, you got these C4 passes, you have C4 coin, you got lands, you got 3 different types of lands going on that just started being grabbed up a handful of days ago, right? Like there's mad shit, and again, there's staking with all your shit as well. There's mad shit that, again, because it's not like in my circle like that all the time, like it's not something I see. But when I'm in the Discord, I'm like, oh shit, y'all got a Beat Boys section? What's up with that? Like, I'm like, oh shit, why you have all these different lands? I'm like, oh shit, you gonna collabo with somebody or something? And why did you choose fucking Crocs and all that? And so all those questions being said, sorry, not sorry. I talk a lot like a motherfucker, and y'all fucking know that. So go fuck yourselves. We got the Cardano Crocs Club up in the piece. I'm not sure if we got a song up in the motherfucker behind that PFP.
Yeah, I'm both here and in the crowd. Look at me.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? Welcome.
What up, Ace man? How you doing tonight?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me. Invited us up here. I've seen a few of your spaces, and yeah, it's definitely different. The vibe is different. The atmosphere is different. I'm just ready to have a good time.
That's what we're all about. We're all about that vibe. We're all about the atmosphere. We're all about
always loved Latinos.
We're all about loving Latinos, apparently. That's my mom. So glad to have you here again. Like, I was trying to do some research. It's easier just to talk to somebody, hang out a little bit, see how they doing, find out about the project that's going on. I fucking look at the profile page, and y'all got a shitload of followers. And, you know, talk to me. Who are you in the project? Where are you at with the project? And I guess if you want to start, either it's talking about you, where it's at now, or where it began, your choice, brother. But welcome again, for real. And again, be ready, because I'm not the only motherfucker who makes a lot of noise up here. There's a whole bunch of weird-ass bastards down there that are going to grab the mic at some point.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. The harder the questions, the better it is. It only reinforces what I know and what the project's all about. And just one quick note: if I start rugging, just let me know, because it might be my connection. So otherwise, yeah, let's start. So I'm Asung. I'm one of the team members on the Cardano Crocs Club. I've been a team member since January or February of this year. It's just everything's a blur. The project came out in
October.
hot minute.
That's a while.
Just a while. It feels like yesterday, right? I mean, this space, you go to sleep, you wake up, like, I don't know, it's the next day, and everything's all different in the space. So it's been a hot
I got
minute.
a whole lot more gray hairs than I did yesterday, for real. Like, you know, time fucking flies like a motherfucker in this space.
I don't know. Everyone who's in this space, everyone who's up here, who's listening, everyone who's just listening out in the crowd, everyone is in a project, you all know that yeah, one day in NFTs, one day in Cardano land is like, it takes a toll on you. I mean, so many things happen that's at like the speed of light. It's crazy. So props for everyone being here.
Still.
Yeah, still, and this is just the beginning, right? We all say that it's the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg of the things to come, and could only imagine what's going to happen in the future. But before we go to the future, let's jump back to the past for a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time in there, but let's come back. So Cardano Crocs Club came out in October of 2021, so it's been a little bit over a year. We started with the OGs, the two-dimensional Crocs. There were 10,000 of them. That's how the project started. And from 10,000, a quick event, like at the beginning of end of last year, it was a burning event for the community. Before we really took anything off and made everything crazy, we decided, hey, if you want to try your hand at a rare Croc, rare as in a better rank, you can send in 2 Crocs, and you can get one back with a 50% chance to be rare, 50% chance to be less rare. And that was our first event and our first introduction to the DGen space, right? The gambling space.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, yo, send me this. You might get this. You might get this. Like, yo, roll, motherfuckers.
How many
Yeah.
burned?
So altogether, we had 10,000 originally. We burned 4,600. We got back 2,300. That brings the total up to 7,700. The maximum was burning up to 5,000, but some people chose that they liked their Crocs and they just wanted to keep them. So it is what it is now. The OGs are finalized at 7,700. That took place between October and December of last year. Shortly after, at the beginning of January, actually on New Year's Day, we introduced non-custodial staking on our customized dashboard. So holders have been able to make C4 tokens since then. Obviously, at the time, it was worthless, and today it's still worthless. And I say that because if somebody asks me, somebody like the SEC, tell them it's worthless. But
you know, real quick, two things you just said. Number one, like you need to use the C4 play on the platform right now, and people who are non-custodially staking their Crocs, they're accruing that, and again, you can trade for it on Sunday Swap as well, and I think Mint Swap probably. I'm not sure.
That's correct. So every day, your Croc generates a fixed amount of C4. The C4 the value is determined by the rarity rank. So, for example, between rarity ranks 1 through 1,000, you get this much. 1 to 2,000, you get this much, and on and on and on. The better the rank, the more you get. And it's a daily rate. You can withdraw any time on the dashboard. We're not going to hold it. We're not going to. I mean, there's no like lockup period. It's yours. You choose to do what you want with it.
And real quick, when you say, for us uneducated people like myself, non-custodial staking means that they don't have to lock it in order for them to accrue a token. It's in your wallet, and as long as you log in or connect your wallet to your site and claim it, it's naturally occurring without getting it stuck somewhere.
That's correct. So non-custodial means the NFT is in your wallet. It doesn't leave. It's not in a smart contract. It's there. All that we do is we scan your wallet, make sure it's there, and you get paid out for it. So non-custodial is in our opinion, the best way to go because you truly own the asset. You don't need to ever do anything. If you do list it on JPEG, it technically disappears from your wallet to JPEG's wallet, so it won't be there. Just the FYI. But otherwise, non-custodial, as long as you own it and it's not listed, you should be able to do whatever you want with it.
Cool.
So I don't have to own a Croc to be able to play on the platform?
That's correct. We don't want to gatekeep, right? We want to Crocs are the Crocs. So how it's designed. How it's designed is we have 3 collections. I'll talk about them in a second. But 3 will generate you C4 on a daily basis, and the total generation is like 75% of the whole supply over a time period of like 2 or 3 years. So ultimately, it's going to be the holders who has the power of C4. And they have the power to do whatever they want with it. So the holders gain value by being the ones that are primary drivers for the token. Meanwhile, the project's focus now is actually to build around the token, right? Because we want to create an ecosystem around this C4 token. And that's the future plans. But before we go back there again, just jumping back real quick. So OGs are finalized at 7,700. Fast forward to March, there was like a whole hype in the metaverse scene, the I don't know, like just playing in all these crazy worlds and all these projects. We created the Radioactive Crocs Club, which is like a 3-dimensional take on our. If you look at the crowd, maybe someone have a picture, maybe not, but go all the way down. 787 Maker, an RA Croc as a PFP, but so 2D OGs, 3D RAs, and that was like I guess our blueprint essentially for if a metaverse does happen one day, we'll have something to jump in with, right? I mean, today metaverses don't exist yet, so this come around. Well, at least we need to jump in, and that collection was 10,000, 25 being test, test mints, and then the rest of them 99.75 being the collection, and then we burned the test mints after. So the total collection is 99.75. We didn't have any crazy like burning or any sort of events like that because during the OG burns, some people were just upset because they either lost the Croc because they ended up with 1, or they just even though they got a higher ranking Croc, they missed having 2 Crocs, or some people just got lower ranking Crocs. So as a favor to the community, we just didn't want to burn. And also the art in the 3Ds look really sick. It's somebody that worked on like Disney and Marvel movies actually played a big role in the art there. So we didn't want to really burn those away.
No shit.
Now the last thing is the baby. So the baby.
Shout out to the
It's all good.
babies.
It's all good. It's all good. Baby Crocs. So Baby Crocs was not a traditional mint, right? What happened was Baby Crocs was actually a game on our dashboard. So you were able to pick two Crocs, either the OGs or the RAs, any two parents. You can get two of each or one of one. You can basically select them on the dashboard, and over a period of 7 or 8 weeks, you're going to create an egg, and the egg's going to ask you for stuff like, I don't know, I'm cold, give me a blanket, or feed me milk. I mean, I don't know how you're going to milk an egg, but I don't know, figure it out, but that's what we did. You can feed it milk, you can feed it eggs, you can feed it a heat lamp, and it even needs teddy bears. But at the end of the day, after 7 or 8 weeks, you ended up with a baby Croc. That's the pixelated third collection. And the interesting thing about Baby Crocs was it inherited the traits of the parents. So if parent A and parent B had two different hat traits, right? It'll take one of them. If it had the same hat trait, it'll actually guarantee that trait on the baby. So this was a way for us to kind of test our dashboard, test our devs' abilities, and also test the abilities of Cardano as a network. And all in all, it was successful. It wasn't easy, and it was delayed a little bit. But at the end of the day, it came out successful. We have 5,081 baby Crocs. That was a direct result of the community's input of the game. The mint, the quote-unquote baby Crocs mint, only cost 2 Crocs of any collection and 10,000 C4. So that was also our way of really starting to gear up to using C4 as the main focus, aside from just charging our community mints with ADA over and over and over again. So that was our first gamified experience, I guess you can say, and the first use case for C4. And then shortly after that, we go to the present, which is a few months ago. We launched our poker platform in October, and as part of the launch, we actually had a small player pass mint that was on an ADA, and the player pass mint actually was a way to give back to our community. So a lot of the members we have today have been here since the beginning, or at least since the last year or beginning of this year, and they've seen some shit. Like being around this space is not easy. Like if everything goes well, everyone's happy, and the minute something is like sour or something goes wrong, I mean the world's against you, right? It's insane, but
absolutely.
Still around.
Hold on, Asan,
yeah.
you're working a little bit, bro.
All right, hold on one second.
Now you mentioned the team. You mentioned the team of developers. How big is the team?
Okay, okay. I just switched over to Wi-Fi. So back then, I think it was one main developer who was Pokeball, and we had like 2 or 3 people working with him on him, everything up to Baby Crocs. With the introduction of the poker platform launch, we actually expanded our team. So now we have a total of 10 to 15 devs working on different things, all of course, and in parallel. So that's just the side of the dev side of things right now, and how it was before. So the way we saw it was if we can do this much with 2 to 3 people, if we really expand and get the scaling going, we could really see this take new heights into places that never have been seen, at least in the Cardano ecosystem. So, just a quick thing about the player passes. The player passes, if you hold 8 Crocs of any collection, you can receive a portion of the poker platform's total profits. And the reason why we did this was because it was really, in our opinion, the best way to give back.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Just give it to the community, though, right? Because they're the ones that made this possible. I mean, again, they've been here for a year. They've seen some shit in Crocs, out of Crocs, in the system. And we had Luna come down with the bear market. We had FTX go down. We had some crazy shit in the space. A normal person.
The overall sentiment has been just, there's waves. There's waves of euphoria, don't get me wrong, where everybody's amped and everybody's loving everything and it's a healthy and happy competition. Everybody's being successful. And there's a couple bullshits going on, but, those bullshits aren't making as much noise. But when the overall sentiment's shit and the shit like you mentioned and the other bullshit going on in the world right now, and unfortunately, no disrespect, Hemi and Hecka, they tell us about the stock market and how shit ain't popping beautifully there either. So sorry, dude. Sorry, bringing it back down. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to do that.
I know.
I didn't mean to do
That's right
that.
outside Hammy.
I sprinkle with some hopium. Come on now.
I know. It was nice. You did. You sprinkled some. But so yeah, I mean, like consistency and delivering and giving back to the community and actually regardless of value of what they own, continually giving them pieces of something and something to look forward to. So the C4 pass, again, like a bunch of the OGs, probably. How many of those are there?
750.
And they get a slice of the C4 and
how often do they? Yeah, how often?
So we actually haven't announced that just yet. So going back to Stevie's question first, the C4 player passes will get 30% split amongst the 750 passes of all the profits. That includes ADA and C4. There is some regulatory issues potentially with ADA. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be providing these rewards in the form of a stable coin. So we're in the process of making it right now. It's going to be very similar to IUSD, like a synthetic stable coin that just is used for the purpose of giving you something, and once it's, I guess, cashed in or whatnot, it disappears. And the idea behind it, again, is just to get back to the community. So a lot of the OGs, like the way we've calculated all these, why 8 Crocs, why it costs like 150 to 8 for the mint, and who we gave it out to. It was really targeted for those like the median. If you were here from the beginning with a few Crocs and you just been participating the whole time, you would have been able to get a pass with little to barrier to entry minus the mint cost.
No shit.
And the way we see it is scaling is a thing, right? If you want to become a company, you can make something, be it a product or a service, which I call the proof of concept. And if you can't scale it, that's the end of the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something like poker is scalable. Now, we're not trying to be the best poker platform out there. We're not trying to be the number one. We're not trying to reinvent poker, right? Because it's not for ages. We just want to create something. We just want to make something, give back to the Cardano community. And why we chose poker is back in November or December of last year, the project took a pivot towards creating an arcade. So Cardano Crocs Club is the ultimate goal is to make an arcade. And what do you do in an arcade? Well, you play some games, right? And poker was the big first game we've launched, like the first official one. And we chose poker based on community sentiment. So actually, we looked around for existing products. We found Poker Now back in December. And like in January or February, we actually hosted the first, I think, Cardano poker event on Poker Now with the Ape Society. So this is when they first launched, and they were much smaller than us, but obviously times have changed. But that was the first, I guess, debut of Poker Now into the Cardano ecosystem. And as you know, the rest is history. Every product in their mothers is playing Poker Now or poker on Poker Now. So, and that's a good thing. It just means that the people really like poker and it's popular. But looking at that, we also noticed limitations on Poker Now, right? There are some things that it does well, but other things that could be improved. So we decided to play our hand and capitalize on that and hopefully make a better product for the Cardano ecosystem. Today, the platform is out. It's only V1. It does the bare minimum. It's still going to be improved with V2 doing a lot more than V1. But we really want to just get some feedback from people, poker players, Cardano projects, and just other members, be it Crocs or not, to get a feel for what they want, if it's good, if it's bad, if the fundamentals are sound. Because a lot of the stuff we do here in Cardano Crocs Club is we build from first principles, right? We build from foundation, from the ground up. And the downside is we're shit at marketing, which is also goes back to your point earlier where you might not have heard of us, because all of us are more super technical.
I ain't never heard of you. I wasn't saying it like that.
I mean, you could have, because it's fine too. Don't take offense.
Okay, maybe
to
it. I was. No. I wasn't saying that only because again, it's like you only hear so much via Twitter. You hear a very specific shitload amount in a Discord, but you can only hear it if you're in the Discord. And then another way you see it is like action on the JPEG store or what's recently like posted, whatever, you know what I mean? So you see a little shit going on Twitter. You scroll around on the JPEG store and you're like, okay, like what's going on with the Crocs? And then you see the next round and you see all this shit going on. And quite honestly, two things I got to say. Number one, you give back like motherfuckers to the community. If that's what if all these things that you're talking about, you're always trying to provide some level of value to either what they have or it just being part of the community / ecosystem. And the other thing I had to say, I haven't played other poker games online besides, a couple of the regular ones that everybody plays, I guess, here and there. Again, mostly I was playing Bovada in the day. Like that was my heavy game. Like I was heavy on that shit. So like the past couple, maybe like past like week and a half, I've played poker a bunch on your site and it's very familiar. It reminds me of that page of playing on Bovada, even like the lobby or whatever you call it. Again, very similar, like, like easy to read, whatever. The tables and all the chat and the options, same type of shit. My only recommendation, I'll say it real quick, like where the bet any check mark and where the fold button are, if you don't click the fold enough, you click, or if, I've had the almost happen of, call any instead of folding by accident.
What, you fat clicked?
I fat clicked.
Oh,
You fat clicked.
I fat clicked without my fucking reading glasses, and it was like shit. And I'm slow motion.
He's all
like,
in. Let's do it.
And I'm like, whatever. I ended up being a river rat on that anyway.
He said he was heavy, whatever. So yeah.
I mean, it was crazy shit. But no. So that was the two things I wanted to say. And like, you guys continue to go. So okay, you got the C4 passes, you got the babies, and I didn't even know the whole shit about the arcade being primary. Now you're talking about the arcade, talking about the Ape Society and shit, all that, back in the day. And you mentioned your metaverse or the Swamplands. But also real quick, I got to pull a D Clay and just remind everybody I'm going to reset the room. What's up, everybody? Y'all are listening to Wild Cards, motherfuckers.
La, 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 la.
And like, as y'all know, it's Friday night. This is what we do tonight. We're kicking it with the Cardano Crocs Club, right? And like, again, do yourself and everybody a favor. And that little button in the bottom right corner of your screen, that little thing that looks like it's in a comic book, you hit that, you hit the like, you hit the retweet, let everybody know what you're listeing to. Shit ain't that bad.
Go
it's
ahead
actually
and fat finger that share.
Fat finger that shit.
But to that marketing point, I want to give A-Song a shout out though, because I noticed, I don't know if he was like in many spaces and like talking, like, I don't know, like, so, like earlier in the year, but like in the recent like month or two, maybe I've seen A-Song out there chat and then repping his golden croc. So yeah, like A-Song's out there, like he's spreading the word. I've noticed.
Yeah, see, you ain't shit at marketing. Come on now.
Well, I'm learning. Well, we're learning. That's the thing, right? Because we've been quietly building for months. Or like, oh shit, we can play this platform with 3 people, or we can actually try to get out there and get more people on this. So we're learning and we're being more visible. And yeah, I mean, marketing. Just on the topic of marketing, we've tried many things. We tried the agencies. We tried a marketing manager. Tried different people in the same position. I mean, it doesn't really work, right? Because Web 2 and Web 3, they're similar but not the same. And the things that work in Web 2 may not necessarily work in Web 3. So it seems that, the magic answer is just being out there. Totally the best bet.
Being out there, being visible, it gives you this level of credibility, right? Like people are always worried about project or wondering what's going on. And like, showing up out of nowhere or only being there for a day or two and being people want active community members and feel like they're actively, again, part of something. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I got an idea. Can I tell the idea or should we move on?
Yeah, no, you can go for it.
Oh, for real? I can really? Really, dude?
What is
I
Oh,
this?
Yeah,
snap.
I mean,
I'm listening.
there's no
Ooh.
Okay.
there's
There's
no
nothing
dates,
concrete.
nothing
Okay.
concrete. Go on,
Nothing
go ahead.
concrete. This was just some bullshit that was going on. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do up in the fucking wild cards.
I got my notepad ready. Go ahead, Stevie.
And these kind of conversations, you know where they happen. That's right. They happen in the DMs. Okay. So I'm playing. Okay, listen. So I was hollering at A-Song earlier today. We go back and forth. It's funny, like when I was a kid, I knew a dude with the same name. So it's like, yo, you that dude? We went back and forth. It was kind of funny. It would have been great if he was that dude I knew, because that just would have changed everything. But no, I don't know that dude. But I kind of know that dude now, right? And we're spitting shit back and forth. And I'm like, got an idea. He's like, what? Holla. And I'm like, and he responded with what? Crocodile. That's right. What did he say? Crocodile. And then I'm like, yo, wild cards. These motherfuckers, I bet a bunch of these motherfuckers want to play some poker with each other. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking to my homies, I'm thinking to A-Song, I'm like, maybe some of these homies will play. Maybe we invite a couple of certain other homies, wink, 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 wink. And maybe we have those Cardano Crocs clubs be able to maybe throw us a pile of that C4 to make sure everybody can fill that table, beat the shit out of each other on cards, and figure out what something at the end, what some takeaway would be, I guess, besides the C4 too, or first, second, third place, whatever. So again, this was something, just a little brainstorm session me and A-Song were having earlier today. Nothing concrete, no states planned. But we may be doing some wild cards, bitches, fucking poker up in them motherfuckers with the Cardano Crocs Club. We might be inviting some other motherfuckers. You know what I'm talking about. And don't think I ain't looking for you, brother.
Give him a reach around.
That's who I'm talking
Dang.
to. So, like, maybe in the future, again, this is just some fun shit. And I'm like, yo, like, how come the rooms aren't packed all the time? I'm like, me and the homies will pack a room one night. Like, come on, just for fun. Like, maybe we could do something audio-wise. There's already a chat in there, type chat, whatever. But we could do something hilarious or whatever.
We could have a space while we're playing, couldn't we?
Abso-fucking-lu. Oh, my shit. That would be hilarious.
We could go live and we can do it all. Fucking,
on
the YouTubes?
We could. Oh, that's another part of the
Great.
We've been baking up a lot of shit, you motherfuckers.
Genius. Pure genius.
So, that's what I was throwing at A-Song, and I'm like, hey, and that's all that's all we're saying. He seems to maybe be biting on that a little, like, hey, that might be fun too. And maybe he's got some skills and he's going to ruin us anyways on the table, take all that shit and get first place and be like, yeehaw.
Thanks for donating.
So, I don't know. I digress on that, but just saying it could happen. Shit's been bubbling a little bit. It could get bubbling even more if there's interest. Just saying.
Sounds like a dope idea.
Is little Ruthie going to be there? Is she going to run the tables or what? I'm just asking.
Yo, listen.
I have
he got his
always
poker
loved
skills from
Latinos.
D. Clay, are you in this room right now?
We can bring the Latinos.
I see you, bro.
Oh,
yo, seriously though, like if Lil Ruthie was there, she'd be like serving drinks all night long. And D. Clay would be like,
he's quiet, man.
Ruthie.
He's on strike. What's going on?
Oh my goodness, seriously. Real quick pause. I already reset the room. You already know what we're doing tonight. And we rocking with the Crocs right now. But on a quick pause note, D. Clay and my mom, I think they got something going on. Shout out to El Duque. He might be battling some giant ants right now in Venezuela. We haven't seen him. I'm not sure, but he does do videos for the wild cards, motherfuckers. So just saying, love that dude. Got to bring it back. Sorry, you know how we do. So listen, A-Song, what do you think about this idea of a little poker tournament or something amongst this, like I was just throwing down on?
Yeah, I think it's going to be less of an idea and more of a reality in the near future. It's a good idea.
Oh, man. That's what, dude, see, like, seriously, I'm just excited. Like, thank you. For real, it's going to be hilarious. Like, we got a lot of smart motherfuckers, and we're going to put some shit together to make it fun and entertaining, and that, and embarrassing to one another as we just beat the shit out of each other and take each other's fucking C4, I guess.
Are we gonna have
Hecka.
a voice chat? Are we gonna have a voice chat to talk some shit?
I'm saying,
Oh, we'll see.
You know what
There
I'm
goes
saying?
if we don't have a
Clover
voice
just
chat,
wanna
we
talk shit.
if we don't have a voice chat, we at least need a little bit of karaoke for my boy.
Go ahead.
Born it like a Ron Jeremy. What?
Go ahead, go.
Hey, hey.
Go ahead, go.
That might happen. You guys think I'm playing? Yo, why the sad face? Hecka, you want in? You want in right now? You got that headset on? You in VR
You didn't
right
even
now?
let him warm up the vocals yet, brother. Damn.
He's laughing. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Do it.
Oh.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay, I'm not putting up. Oh, okay. So, A-Sung says we're going to make it happen. I love to fucking hear that. Thank you, brother. That's going to be insane. We're going to make shit happen. We're going to invite some friends up in there, and shit's going to get bananas.
Get those promos ready, Hemi. Get them promos ready.
Oh, fucking, Hemi's going to make some ill-ass promos, and if you
That's
didn't
right,
know.
I said Hammy.
Who?
That's right, I said Hammy.
One more
That's
time.
right, I said Hammy. That's right, I said Hammy.
And where them balls?
Balls to the wall.
That's right.
Hey, Crocs, have you guys played any other games other than poker?
In what regard? Just generally, or casino?
Like
or
generally, like, was there like some other game you guys maybe played like in Discord, like a guessing game or something like?
Oh yeah, it's good to bring it up. So, separate from poker, we have so this has been like a bi-monthly thing. We have a little thing called Croc or No Croc. So anyone who's played or seen Deal or No Deal knows what's up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So what we do is you can enter, just send in 1,000 per entry into this bi-weekly or bi-monthly game. If you're selected, you can go on the game show, which you host in the Discord. There's prizes ranging from like a Clay Nation, a Mallard Order, Jelly Cube, or the special edition Crocs, or just regular Crocs, all the way down to like 1 C4, depending on if you want to test your luck again. And the whole idea of testing your luck is a recurring theme here, right? So, yeah, Croc or No Croc was actually created by a community member.
What the fuck is a DJ?
Who's the host?
The host is a little somebody called Cy Adam. We also call him the Croc Hype Commander because he's always about Croc Hype in the Discord. But yeah, I mean, Adam, he created it for us just out of his own will. He's one of the members that kind of just inspired us to really think about what do you do for members or community members who want to do more than just be a member, but they don't want to necessarily take a role in the team, right? It's like, hey, I like being a holder. I like to do things. I want to do things for the project because I have my own skill set and abilities, but I don't necessarily want to be in the team. I don't necessarily want to be monitoring people or doing. I just want to do my own thing. What can we do, or what can I build, right? And then Adam, he made Croc or No Croc. It's a very simple game, but it does it serves its purpose. And we kind of took that idea and further amplified it to create the Swamplands, which is going to be basically a platform where anybody that wants to create things, like development side or whatever, to be able to do that. And that's basically the bulk of what the Swamplands is all about. Creating just the entire Croc ecosystem or CCC ecosystem around the C4 token, and also just by incorporating other projects, not just in Crocs. So just to talk about that briefly, we have the Swamplands consists of 3 types of lands. The first being the living land. The first being the living land.
It'll get you. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like looking all around. But yeah, so the first lands is it consists of living lands. This is basically if you just want to get involved, earn some C4, you don't want any Crocs, this is all you need. You can stake your Crocs, and you can get a 50% multiplier on your C4, or you can stake non-Croc NFTs if you're on an approved list, and then you can just get 300 C4 a month. So this actually idea came from the Ape Society's cabins. And it was a brilliant idea, right? It was a way for them to introduce other projects into their ecosystem without necessarily diluting the supply of apes, without diluting the supply of their cabins, but also giving value to everybody who gets involved, right? I mean, you can argue it may or may not be fair. That's a different topic entirely. But the idea is that you, as a owner of a cabin and an approved NFT project, can earn society every day and get involved in their ecosystem, which is going to be built out over time. Similarly, with the swamplands, you can have a non-croc NFT. You own a living land, which is like, right now it's like, I don't know, 6 to 8 ADA if you were to buy C4 from the Sensi swap. And you can start staking it in about 2 months when it goes live. Right now it's just a pre-sale. And you can start earning C4 even without owning any Crocs, even without owning any anything else we've been doing. You don't need to play poker, you don't need to do anything, just earn some C4 if you choose to do that. And the idea is to build an entire arcade again. So that's Living Lands. It's basically a gamified dashboard. Mm-hmm.
And those lands, again, like now you keep on UC4 token because a lot of these projects, they have a token and some of them have real use for what they're doing. And for your project right now, you're saying, so you got like C4, which you use for every fucking thing under the sun. So right now, if you have C4 token, that's what you're using on the website, or that's what I know you're using on the website. And C4 tokens being rewarded for all these different things. And you have all these different lands, different levels. And those are all being reserved or purchased with C4 solely through you. Okay, got you.
Yeah, so the idea is that so if you have to think about it a few different ways, right? What's the goal here? And the goal is to give C4 the most amount of value as possible. And value is correlated to the number of use cases, right? Mm-hmm. We all talk about utility, right? It's a hype word. We'll talk about some sort of I don't know, some sort of price action or something, right? But I mean, we're not all for that. We're not for that. We just want to create value for our holders. Give them a good time in the space, and hopefully reach out to just the greater CFT or the Cardano ecosystem, and just introduce them to what we can offer.
Now you keep mentioning arcade. Is there any alpha on what you may be working on next? Because I'm assuming you're probably working on maybe something else in the future or something like that.
Yeah. So this is where the having multiple dev teams comes in handy. We're working on a lot of things in parallel. So first, we have a few partnerships lined up. One is it's called Swamp Tanks. They're basically like a small, I wouldn't call them an indie company, but like a small little like developers that wanted to create something, but they didn't want to get involved with the whole creating a community, NFT, whatever scene, right? So they just entered into a partnership with Crocs. You can actually play a demo. I think it's like swamptanks.com or something. The link is in the Discord. You just point and shoot, you blow each other up, and that's basically the game.
I played that shit.
Oh, you did?
How was it, Stevie?
Yo, it's fucking tight. Same thing. Like, I wanted to get information about this project again, knowing that we were going to have them on the show and try to figure some shit out. I've been playing the poker, and in that Discord there was something that said like you just said, Swamp Tanks, and click on that, joined that, and again it opens. I think it's almost full screen right when you open it, and the music's already playing. It's a battle tank game. It's fucking gangsta. Again, not crazy intricate, not anything like that, but again, very usable. Like, and I guess that's
can definitely be more, like, especially if it's like in working order. I mean,
any working order is exciting, right? Like, that's the thing.
Smooth? Like, that's important. Yeah,
it was smooth. And like last week, until even bring up like what Goombles, who making a lot of moves right now. I played a couple different games like that this week. Just trying to win whitelist this and seeing what's out there. And Ada Ninjas, their game's playable and it's smooth. It's really freaking fast. Like, and I don't have the dexterity to freaking do that at this point. But like, yeah, the tanks was usable, easy to do, quick, opens quick, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And again, not financial advice. It's a freaking game, but you should check it out if you want to try it out.
I mean, it's also free, so go and play it if you want. And the whole point of this arcade, we're not trying to create some like AAA game that gets irrelevant in 2 months, right? I mean, that's like what everyone does now. But the point is just Nash and I actually we both grew up playing a lot of video games, and we kind of have a very similar mindset on these things. But we're both. I mean, the idea is to create like small, simple, but engaging games, right? Nobody wants to sit down for 25 minutes and lose and be upset, right? You just want to get it in and out, right? Like the way it is right now is, this is going kind of sidetracking. And when it comes to the gaming market, the biggest market is mobile. Why is that? It's because you have two types of people on mobile. You have people that are really, really committed to the mobile gaming industry and the and what the app stores have to offer. And then you have the other half of people, which is taking a shit and you're playing something for 10 minutes. So to get the best of both worlds, you need something simple and easy to do, right? Easy to play. It's easy to learn, very little skill, very little learning curve.
Super accessible as well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say too. Everybody's got a freaking phone. Again, we're all sitting here right now in this Twitter space, and I'm guessing that most of us are using a phone to do that. Even during another space, we were talking about globally. Gamers, in certain countries, you assume like, I'm in America over here, and everybody got a PlayStation, you think, or an Xbox, or a Sega Dreamcast, or whatever them shits are.
Dang.
But no, people are using their phones all over the world. Like, they're using it for banking, they're using it for this, they're using it for games, they're using it to send pictures of themselves on InstaChat and grams, So it's accessible.
DMs, right, Cobra?
So no, that was A-Song, that was an appropriate sidetrack though, because I think that hitting a mobile market, you're not just limiting yourself to a PC gaming or anything else like that, because again, you also, if you're playing something on your phone, you also want to also have that accessibility maybe through a wallet. Like, some wallets on your mobile device work for some of these things, some don't. Some, like, I've been using Flint recently just because they have a browser and it's pretty smooth when you're on the mobile scene to connect it up to something.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, mobile, just whip out your phone and you're anywhere in the world. If you have internet connection, you're good to go. I mean, before I talk about mobile, I just want to go back to lands a little bit. We have so Living Lands is the staking thing for a Croc or not Croc or non-Croc NFTs. Recreational lands are basically like a plug and play, small little games like the Swamp Tanks. And then the commercial lands are if you want to like set up a store, for example, maybe play your hand in a quote unquote Web3. I don't like that word, but Web3 marketplace, or start your own little business. You can do so. We'll have some basic tools and some devs to help you out get set up. I'm not going to build it for you, and more details will come out as we actually build this thing a bit more. But
that sounds pretty
the idea
badass,
is to,
for real.
I mean, it's very ambitious, and not gonna lie, it's not gonna be smooth. It's not gonna be easy, right? But we're gonna do it because that's what we like to do here. We say we're gonna do something and we go ahead and do it. So, yeah, Cobra. The inspiration comes from all these quote unquote metaverse projects, right? We have a whole bunch that are promised of the world to us, and to date, they've been working, but there's nothing on the market just yet. So when people come to us, be it community members or outsiders, like, hey, A-Sung or Crocs, I want to build something small, not get too engaged, but where do I go on Cardano? And we look at them like, what do you mean? There's nowhere to build on Cardano, right? Unless you're heavily involved in the tech side with IOHK, for example, there's not really more things where people can do. So we decided to take this little niche today. What I like to call is Web 2.5, right? We're integrating the bells from Web 2 and Web 3, and we'll see where it goes, right? That's going to be what Swamp Plans is. And if somebody comes out later and makes it better, fine. Cardano ecosystem, what does it matter? That's ultimately what's important here. And that's our hand in the world building, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I think that
go ahead. Go ahead,
I think that that mobile gaming is going to be pretty big. I think that the project that actually executes a very good mobile game, it's going to be very successful, especially when it comes to these type of games. Because I'm just waiting for a game that not everybody's into these high tech games. But when we're talking about poker and that type of stuff, man, like if there's a way that I could or an NFT project that could accumulate.
And done. We're good. Let's keep it rolling.
All right.
Yeah, if I could be part of a community that accumulate what I have to use and not have to necessarily use my cash to play poker on a mobile app, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry, Hemi, go on.
No, I was just gonna jump in on the whole mobile. I mean, the mobile's been a proven proven model. Like they've made like a shit ton of money. Like majority of people, the gaming industry has all been mobile. So I mean that model's been that way for the past couple of years. So yeah, I think it's a smart move, especially when you're coming from the crypto side of everything.
That's right, I said
I
hammy.
totally agree. I wanted to ask a question. As far as like, yeah, the mobile thing, like as weird as it is, like I always have been, but I've just never been a gamer on my phone. However, I played poker on my phone. So with that being said, we didn't talk about the C4 and how you can only use it with Nami, right? So then therefore the platform's only like it's only available on like computer. Is there plans to like use a different wallet to be able to maybe bring that to mobile?
Damn, this is why you separate people.
Yeah, exactly. This is why you separate. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Hemi and Cobra. I mean, gaming is huge, even though I'm not like gaming, but like Nova, she's not a gamer, but she games on her phone all the time. So like, I totally like see the value in the gaming.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you're up a two-part question. First is like the poker platform, are there going to be other wallets on the platform? And secondly, is mobile going to be introduced? I'm going to break it up in two pieces because it's more easy to explain. So the first part, are we going to have multiple wallets on the platform? The answer is yes. V2, which is version 2, actually, let's do one step back. Something what's out right now is V1, again, which is just the bare bones fundamental foundation building, where we're testing that the foundation is sound. If the foundation sucks ass, we need to go back and rebuild it because we don't want to make it look pretty because it doesn't solve the problem. Building correctly from ground up, again, from first principles is the best way to do it. So this whole exercise, what you see today is V1. It's functional, it works, it does its job, but there's always improvements, which is what we've been data mining basically, or gathering information from. Now V2 will have all the other wallets available. It'll have like your Flint wallet, your Eternal wallet, Gira wallet, and obviously Nami as well. The second question is it going to be mobile compatible, right? And to answer you honestly, I don't know, at least in V2, because I mean, I don't know if there's any developers out there in Cardano or also just in general, but there is a distinction between developing on PC and developing on mobile. So from what I've been told, I'm not a developer, so I don't know 100%, but from what I've been told, mobile development needs to be something called a dApp browser. It's like a specific browser or an add-on or something that is limited to the mobile browser. The reason being is like on PC, you can download extensions to your Nami and Chrome or whatever, right? But on mobile, I don't think that's possible. And as a result, tying into a dApp is actually very cumbersome from the whole idea of just getting direct connection wallets, right? Now, there are a few ways around this. One, you can build on a dApp browser and integrate. Two, you can get rid of the dApp connection, or you can add other connections, for example, to log in, right? So our old dashboard, like way back before this crazy one came out recently, it was you connect your wallet by sending ADA and then linking your wallet, just like how CNFT.io did it back in the day, which we modeled it off of, just like how CNFT Tools does it. Yeah, I don't know how half the people here probably doesn't know what CNFT.io is, but the idea is that you have an email path and there's a little box that say add your wallet. So how do you add your wallet? You send some arbitrary amount of ADA to this address and it'll give you everything back minus dust. Anyone who uses a whitelist on CNFT Tools has probably seen this, right? If you want to register your wallet, you send some ADA, you get it back with dust. The more, I guess, modern approach is the dApp, where you click a button, you connect your wallet, you sign, and that's the end of it. But unfortunately, the technology out there just across the board is not up to date or not compatible just yet. And we're finding workarounds for this. We're trying to find the best option to give users the smoothest experience, right? Because if it's not smooth, you're not going to use it.
Well, and also that's why developers, quite honestly, are fucking gold. Like, developers, development teams, like those that know what they're doing with those with that black screen and that white writing and all that shit. Yeah. Those are the people that make it happen, and those are the ones that are going to be, I think, personally, maybe, I don't know, like leading the next wave of what's happening with the ecosystem itself. Because, sure, we have PFPs, which absolutely represent, I mean, look at mine. I got a PFP type shit going on. I love it. And there's a lot of other just PFPs, which, again, love it. There's a lot of staking type of shit. There's a lot of coins. There's a lot of this and that. There's all these different things, So, to have it be able to do something is or to have people that can tell that to do something and program it to do something is a whole like I said, a fucking gold mine. Like there's a lot of developers out there, I think, in this bear market right now that have been doing a lot of work right now to not take advantage, but really seize the moment when, you know, shit's popping and we get back into that bull market.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's really interesting because developers are always the bottleneck or the least, I guess, in terms of supply or quantity, right? In any of these projects, even not just Cardano, but Ethereum, Solana, all the other chains, you're always limited by developers. It's interesting because to me, at least my experience with these projects is there seems to be an endless number of artists and no developers. Because the bare minimum to start a project is you need a developer and an artist, right? I mean, everything else you can fill in the blanks, but it's just that I see a lot of posts or I see a lot of questions where like if somebody wants to start a project, they have a good idea, and they're looking for devs, and more, and that's all it is. And
well, absolutely, because I mean, you know, one of the first type of jump offs for NFTs, it's like, you know, the artwork. That's what's drawn people in, right? But there's so many other uses for ththese NFTs. Shit, I know lots of musicians, and little by little, I think we're going to see more musicians coming into the blockchain. Not just, you know, this blockchain, but all these blockchains, you know, through NFTs, because it's a different platform, a different potential availability to get paid, own your shit, publishing, all the, you know, availability. There's so much, but again, people often get stuck just on the image or the music, because shit, we all got lots of, you know, if you're a musician, you got a lot of music you're sitting on, and you'd love to put it in this and have it used for this, but without the developer, you can't make that, you know, you can't bake that cake and, you know, take all those ingredients and put them together like that.
yeah, actually, the developers are basically the backbone of everything happening. And again, it depends on the way you look at it, right? You can develop on DeFi, you can develop on an NFT project, you can develop at IOHK. You can not have any developers and just be, for example, like an art project. I mean, of course, there's more than that, but just to generalize it. But at the end of the day, you need innovation and technology to move in the direction of the future, whatever that is, for the space to thrive, right? Because everything's iterative. What you see today is going to be different tomorrow. What happens well today, somebody will do it better tomorrow, and the space will just evolve more and more.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah,
I got a
sure.
quick question. Okay, so you guys are obviously like the Crocs are like they're very like they're spreading their wings, right? Like they're branching out into all these ways of like different utilities and stuff like that. And obviously, I'm rocking the BB PFP, and you guys had the Croc launch pad. And you guys had Beat Boys on there, which is now BB. And then I believe you guys got someone else now. Like you guys were looking for someone, and you guys just got like another project to like put on your launch pad, which seems like a good utility for your holders as well. So I was just wondering if you could go more into like a little bit more detail on like the launch pad and kind of like what you guys are doing there, since it's like another kind of like avenue that the Crocs are doing that hasn't been mentioned yet.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Thank you, Cobra.
absolutely. So the Launchpad, we've had this idea since like I guess the beginning of the first roadmap back last year. It's evolved over the times. So initially the Launchpad was just like for example with Beat Boys, the idea was to help a project get off the ground. Cardano Crocs Club is more established in the space, and so it'll be easier for a project to take off if they go through a existing project with a brand or community or something along those lines, right? Because especially going back a few months, like before May, maybe even like March or February, March, there was like 10 projects, 20 projects coming out every day. And it just gets so easy to get lost in the noise. And by having someone to help you out and build a backbone is definitely going to be a big help, right? And it really pushes you out further than
Sorry to cut you off. Whose idea was to do the launch pad?
So I think the original Launchpad idea was Sean's idea. Sean Benson is one of our founders. He's also a YouTuber. Anyone who watches him or not, I don't know. But he's also he's been the one that was kind of pushing the whole Launchpad idea since the start. because he did want to see this space thrive a lot more, and he was hoping to use what he has, his abilities to help with that on that end. And over time, I mean, the space has evolved, and so has our Launchpad, I guess, goals, right? So originally it was just to launch. I mean, and anyone who was not anybody, but like people who had a very credible, to put simply, were docs. They had good intentions. The idea was something new or innovating to the space, not just a copy paste of the next guy over. And that was what we did. And then today, the Launchpad is more just like we do. It's the same goals, right? To help a project succeed. But also, if we can integrate it into our Swamplands somehow, it doesn't need to be like a full takeover, for example. But if that were to be the case, then that would really help both worlds, right? We'd help our ecosystem grow, and also the product that could do whatever it wants. So Swamp Tanks is an example. Like they got through by the Croc Pad technically. They're gonna build a little game, right? They're gonna have a little following. They're building the game on the Swamplands. Not to say it's gonna be exclusive there. They can put it else, right? If they have their game, you can just put it anywhere you want. But the idea is that, yeah, we'll help them out, and they'll help us out by building on the swamp lands as well. So going back to your question as to what we look for, how does the Crocpad work? We're just, at this point, we're really looking for projects who really want to build on. It can be an existing project or a new project. And if they have good ideas, especially if it's some sort of game or something engaging, by all means, we'll help you out. I bought a shitload of lands. I'm not going to use all of them. I don't mind giving some away. Just if you're really going to build something and you really want to try your hand there, like, I don't mind losing some ADA just to actually help you succeed. It's not ADA is not, it comes and goes, right? And I think the mentality that the product has as well as a whole. So the idea is to, it's like the saying, like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's kind of what it is here. And
Get the rates around.
Or that.
Or that,
I think that's legit, like with what you guys are doing there. And like, it's just like, yeah, another avenue, another thing for like your holders. Cause like, not to go back in the past, but like Stevie mentioned how like he wasn't like seeing like the Crocs out there and whatnot. But from like, from just like me being like in BB and everything, like I've noticed like how strong like the core Croc community really is. So like shout out to them and everything. Cause like, yeah, you guys necessarily might not be there on Twitter, but you guys are out there like doing many things and like keeping that core community alive. You guys are killing it there.
It's not even that Taxi, because like it's almost like things only get on like my radar if they're active, on the feed of like the handful of people that I totally pay attention to.
And that can
follow,
be the algorithms too. So like, yeah, maybe they're totally out there and you're just not seeing them. I get that.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like the other day, I'm like, shit, I had, and genuinely, I hadn't seen any like Ore on my feed in a day or two. And I wasn't like farming. I just hadn't seen Ore. So I'm like, yo, what's good? And by doing that, all these Ores obviously, replied. But then, so for the next couple days, I was seeing more anyways on my feed just cause. So I think that's like, not that, Cardano Crocs Club isn't active here and there. It's like sometimes it's just, again, we are all victim of being in different echo chambers of what we are paying attention to, because that perpetuates what we're going to listen to, right? Like,
yeah, big facts.
It's like, if I'm always liking what fucking thank you, like what Fart's doing, then the next handful of days I'm just seeing all of her stuff and stuff related to her, right? Like same thing with anybody, I think. So like, again, that's why a project like Cardano Crocs Club wasn't on my radar, because like it wasn't on the feed of my homies or a bunch of the people that I'm constantly hitting like on or whatever,
Right. And I was getting that on my feed from like the BBs that were like in the Crocs, like in the early days. Mm-hmm. So like you could see like how it was different. But yeah, I've seen like, I mean, there's like some, I think, what's his name, Jake, or there's a few people out there. I mean, they're out there pushing the Crocs and like showing what they're up to. So like, I've always been able to like, keep up with them that way. But yeah, they're killing it, crushing it.
Yeah, no, it's the algorithm, right? I mean, now, all I see is like Nash, reports, I wiped my ass today, and then like 20,000 likes, I don't know, or some shit. But yeah, it's just like the things you follow and the things you
an influencer.
There you go. That's the word, influencer. But the things you see and the
An
things you follow
influencer.
is all you see. And no, it's and I think also, Stevie, it's just because there's so many products out there today, right? There's just so many different projects. I mean, obviously we're in a bear market or a build market, but there's so many different products wanting to do things, and they're all very legit. And so it's just physically impossible to keep track of all of them, right? Even if you wanted to. So
It's true.
so the thing is that
not only that. I mean, we
Kevin?
probably don't really know what's on Stevie's feed. To be honest, if we're being honest,
Y'all don't want to know
Yeah,
what's
see,
on
I'm
my feed.
Damn, the DMs are coming out in public.
No, we keep them DMs in the DMs. Know what I mean?
I don't know. Sometimes they escape sometimes, and they make it on Twitter.
I mean, I don't know if they do or not. I'm not gonna. Yo, Roy, hold fast, my friend. Okay. Sorry. We had to make sure she was in line here.
Shut up, baby dear.
But one other thing that helps is a month ago, or a little bit over a month ago, we launched a poker platform, right? We actually made something that was tangible, some sort of proven, like, proof of concept, right? Everyone has a roadmap. Everyone has a goal. Everyone has a like, here's what we're going to do. But very few people today, very few projects this is what I did. This is what you can do. This is what you can actually interact with. And I mean, building a poker platform it's not new, right? I mean, poker's been around forever. There's hundreds of these things on Ethereum and Solana or wherever. Right?
It was
It's not like
needed on Cardano, though.
Yeah, no,
like
for
a
sure.
Good one, for sure.
We filled it. We're just filling a niche, and that's fine. But the point is that a lot of projects, they're just, I mean, a lot of them promise you the world, and you end up disappointed. So we've been here the whole time, and we kind of see that. But when a project actually delivers something, some sort of tangible good or service, it really shakes the entire ecosystem to its core in a good way. I mean, you have all these. Look today. I mean, January we had custodial staking. I mean, that's nice. I mean, today staking is like a baseline. Like, you stake for some token that may or may not have value in the future, but it's like everyone's doing it, so you need to do it to keep up, right? But back then it was like, wow, staking, and then I mean, whatever. And then now today there's tools and there's projects that are out there that provide staking service, and it's great. There's more options, there's more competition, there's more, I guess, energy into space to really go around, and it's good for the overall system. Everyone has a token, right? Whether it's good or bad is up to this debate, but the point is that people are catching on, and if someone invents something for the first time, it's easier to copy it as the next person. And that's fine because somebody's going to eventually copy it and make it better. That's how we improve in the space, right? It has to be iterative. No one gets it right the first time around. And the thing is that what we see today, in my opinion, is still Web 2. It's just Web 2 with PF fees we pay for. If you really want to go to Web 3, we need to keep iterating this way until we finally break out of this what we have here and basically utilize what Web3 can do that Web2 cannot, right? The whole idea in personal identity, voting, I mean, all these key hype words that we hear, and then never actually apply, because how do you actually apply it? This technology is just not there yet. But the point is that eventually we'll get to that point, and until that point, and even after that point, we're just going to keep developing, right? Products are going to come together, Cardano is going to grow, and we're going to need each other ultimately to help push further beyond the I guess boundaries that we have today. So I'm just really interested to see everything in the future. Thank you. But yeah, just one more thing is like going back to Swamplands, right? Poker platform was ambitious. Just going off the poker platform route, we're in the process of getting a gambling license to actually build a full-fledged casino on Cardano, right? Because it's going to be all tied together. If we're going to need a license anyway, might as well go the whole route. Swamplands is going to be like the best way to explain Swamplands is like we're going to be building an app store in Cardano, right? In this NFT ecosystem. And it's not just us. I mean, Mutants is doing it, IfSite is doing it. All these big names, they understand the same, I guess, mindset, and they're going to be going the same route. They want to build something around their token and around their community, around their ecosystem to give things for people to do. Because the biggest problem I see today in this space is if you want to join Cardano and you don't care for the tech, then your options are A, is to be affiliated with some sort of profile picture, or B, is not join because you don't really fit in. There's nowhere to just chill. with any PFP, right? The NFTs are like we always say like how we all need to come together and there's a lot of tribalism amongst between like cryptos, right? ETH versus Solana versus ADA. But there's also tribalism within the spaces itself, right? If you don't have a specific PFP, you don't belong. I mean, obviously it's not the true for every project, but the idea is that an outsider looking in who wants to just have a good time and chill, they don't have anywhere to go, right? And that's why, I mean, so going to Nash, that's kind of what he's trying to solve, right? He's trying to bring in people that don't give a shit about NFTs and don't give a shit about tech and crypto, whatever. They just want to have some fun. And onboarding people through gaming is one way to do that. And we believe the same thing. We want to create an arcade in this ecosystem where people can just go and have fun, right? I mean, anyone who's played Newgrounds back in the day or Miniclip or addicting games, right? Just go and have some fun on a computer, or today Candy Crush or whatever else on like a phone. The idea is to just have something for people to get onboarded. They like what they see and they say, oh, cool. This is pretty cool. I didn't know crypto had this. I didn't know this was crypto. What else is in the ecosystem? And they go branch out. They start from this one. Oh, this product exists. Oh, that product exists. Oh, this community is pretty cool. And then they just learn little by little through what we call Web 2.5, because you're not going to jump to Web 3 from Web 2. There's too many things. Oh, what's a wallet? Oh, I don't want to download this. It's going to give me a virus. Like, it's all the scary stuff. But no, just Web 2 needs to go to Web 2.5 before it can finally transition over to Web 3, which is what we all talk about every day.
It's a great fucking point, dude. Absolutely, because there's that baby step in between getting a wallet, knowing what a seed phrase is, being scared shitless that anything you look at or click is going to like steal something from you or drain everything from you. And, you know, like there are a lot of the fears that keep people away and have for, again, like the decade I've been rocking with the cryptos for, right? There's a handful of those stigmas that are always attached to it. You know, like, oh, that's what you buy hookers with, my mom would say. You know, now,
Dang.
like, you know, well, my mom used to do that. You know how
Chill,
my mom is.
Ruthie.
Ruthie buying hookers. Shit.
Well, she likes the Latinas too, but you know.
I have always loved Latinos.
I love you, Mom. But shit, she just confused the shit out of me. Oh, so like the stigma attached to everything. But I mean, like, you know, she went from like being like, oh shit, you do bad shit with that, with like what, like maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago when like Ripple was on like, you know, CNBC or something. She's like, Stevie, what's this Ripple we're talking about? What's Coinbase? And I'm like, no shit, Mom. So like, you know, obviously she doesn't have, no disrespect to little Ruthie, but she doesn't have the wherewithal to go through all those steps to get a wallet and do this and connect to this and connect that. But just like somebody else's mom, or somebody was talking about their mom earlier, like they're more likely to play poker or a simple swiping game on their phone because they're already swiping right anyways. But like, you know, any sort of simple something, and then later be like, oh shit, this is part of blockchain something or other, and like, oh, there's crypto involved. What's this all about? And that might give them that, you know, desire to take that next step into grabbing something.
What
That explains your timeline.
What do you
that explains his timeline.
What is this? Tinder and stuff? You swiping right? And
that's what Stevie's timeline.
No, that's my mom's. My mom swipes
No. We got it. We got it. No, we picked it up.
It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. You know what happens.
It's okay. This is a safe space. You can share anything you want.
Just one more thing I want to note is,
please.
So just along the lines of making things simpler, right? So let's just look at this. Our ecosystem is based off of C4, right? Or that's the idea. Somebody who's playing on a game, be it a computer or mobile, they're gonna want to pay. Or if they want to pay and buy something, they're going to need to pay in C4. But how the hell do you get C4? You've got a credit card, right? So the key to this is going to be stable coins. And I do see this being more prevalent downstream. Now that, for example, IUSD launched on Indigo, protocols are coming. Right now, what you need to do is you have to take USD, convert to Cardano, take Cardano, convert to C4 on a DEX, right? So we want to create an intermediary stable coin just to complete the triangle. Instead of going from ADA to USD to ADA to C4, why not just go straight from USD to C4? It's pegged to whatever is on the exchange. So the thing we'll be launching in a little bit is called the USD C4. where it's basically a pairing with USDC. And I mean, we don't know how it's going to go. It sounds great on paper, but we'll see what's going to happen downstream. And that's another way for just to simplify the process, right? Someone who doesn't want to get a wallet, who doesn't want to have all these crazy steps, just make it simple. And the simpler it is, the easier it is.
And and the simpler it is, the more accessible it is, the more people can click on something and just less steps. Now, I guess the question you mentioned gaming license, right? Or I think you mentioned gaming license and stablecoin, and so you got to lawyer up for that shit because right, like so. Do you have a legal? Are you getting a legal team? What's the plan to keep yourself safe or the project safe? If it has to do with any of the shit you're talking about, like gaming and all that.
Yeah, so it's actually a gambling license. That's for the casino
shit.
Side. Yeah.
There you go. Enough said. So holla.
It's actually yeah. So to answer your question, we do have a legal team. But going back to your question, I want to just break it down further. There's actually two issues we're solving here, or we need to address. One is the gambling scene. Two is the crypto scene, where every product here is part of the crypto scene. So the gambling scene, the idea is to have a license, and it's in the process right now because V2, like for example, to get a gambling license in poker, your platform needs to be audited. And right now with V2 underway, V2 is like the code is changing quite a bit from V1. So, I mean, if it's V1, it'll be useless for V2 because it's a different platform almost. So, waiting for V2 to be done, we'll have it audited, and then we'll have a poker license, or sorry, a gambling license on that regard. And that should take care of that, at least temporarily, because there is some movement in the US specifically. But the US is something we're going to be dealing with separately later. Now on the crypto side of things, it depends on where you are, right? So you have extreme ends. You have some countries that have no laws. And then you have the US, which is like, if you want to touch crypto, you gotta you gotta jump through 3 hoops and give up your firstborn or something. So in that case, it depends on who you're working with exactly, which agency or which specific government or governance you're working with, right? So on the crypto side of things, the first question is ADA a security, right? That's up to debate. We can't control that. Down the line, are NFTs a security? And also down the line, is your particular token a security, right? Because those are the things that ultimately will kill a project.
Mm-hmm.
And so securities, the biggest issue SEC has is the expectation of profit, right? So if you're doing something and it's evident you're going to try to do something or hold something to get profit off of it, well, then you're breaking rules because that's ultimately what it is. So going to our token design specifically, one is inflationary, right? There's like 1 million C4 in an optimal case being pumped out every day. And after Swamplands goes live and assuming all the lands are filled up, there's going to be 2 million C4 being pumped out every day. So you holding a C4, assuming the team does nothing to create more demand, you're actually losing value. So the expectation of profit there is a little bit questionable, depending on the way you want to look at it, right? Secondly, is it profitable, or is an expectation of profit, I guess, prevalent in the means and methods of what you're distributing? So BAY and LBNY are two things that are really talked about today, right? And the SEC, they didn't necessarily focus on the staking. They didn't necessarily focus on the token. What they focused on were the airdrops, specifically from both cases. And the fact that the airdrops, or maybe like the founder's point, was the expectation of profit. So they picked very specific cases or very specific pieces of the puzzle and try to use it against you. So for our token, we had one airdrop when it first launched, like last year. So basically the January 1st, 2022. And at the time, each croc you held gave you 1,000 C4. So is this an expectation of profit? Well, you couldn't really sell it. I mean, we didn't even have Sunday Swap back then. So, I mean, what is a token worth? It's worth as much as someone wanted to buy it. So is that an expectation of profit? It's a very gray area, which is where the legal team will handle it. But it's not. So the issue with like BAYC, for example, is they dropped an airdrop of token, but then also had a DEX. You can trade it immediately. So DEX, obviously, you have a baseline price, and you can trade something for nothing almost because it was free. in a way that's considered profit. But if there's no baseline to begin with, it's really debatable. So at least from the tokenomics stance, we have that covered, at least to have those lines of defense. And really have to see how this really takes off in the US, because I'm sure in the next year things are going to change in the US as well. For the better or for the worse, nobody knows. Now, away from the US, which is the scary part, we also have the EU, and they already have some sort of guidance for cryptocurrencies, right? They have 3 bills, one specifically for stablecoins and 2 for everything else. And it seems to me that they're a bit more lax in the sense of regulations versus the US. And it seems that most products will fall in compliance as long as they actually do something to file. Lastly, you have other parts of the country that just don't care for crypto, in which case there's not much you need to do. Right? So it's the TLDR is basically there's different routes for legal issues, but the way we've been, I guess, handling this, it's on the surface it seems legit in terms of it follows all the rules, but if something does happen, we also need to have the mindset to pivot, right? Because most products today, there's only 2 ways forward. One is you wait for regulation, and 2 is you design your process in a way that can pivot. And assuming the rules are not retroactive, meaning it goes back in time, and you can pivot away from it, it should be okay. Obviously, it depends on what you're doing, and it's not financial advice, of course. So we're taking the second route, and other projects taking the first route. And there's no right answer here. It's just a matter of perspective and what you want to do and create. So let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is staking considered an issue? Because if staking is an issue, well, goodbye to 70% of the products here today, because all of us are in violation. I mean, there's no CNFTs anymore. There's NFTs. So, I mean, if that's an issue, I mean, our little Mickey Mouse token is not a problem. It's just the actual health of the ecosystem we're building here. So,
well, I think that's a current fear to some degree is shit. What's the deal with all the staking, the tokenomics, and the legal side of that as we move forward? You know, especially with shit coming to the surface with all these other exchanges, blah, 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 regulation. You know, sure, hate me if you want. I want some level of regulation to protect people from this, and that. Does that happen with decentralization? It can, you know, but you know,
yeah, no, I think the answer is it's just unknown, right? All you can
exactly.
All you can do is use so here's an analogy I like to give with those regulations, okay? Let's say you're driving today, okay? You're driving down a road. The speed limit is 50 miles an hour or 50 kilometers, whatever the hell it is. The speed limit is 50, okay? And you're doing 40. So you're fine, okay? And then there's talks that the town might change the limit to 30. There's talks that this might come in the future. There's no guarantee, right? And there's talks that something might happen. Well, there's 2 routes this can take. One is the limit drops to 30. The second is the limit stays and nothing actually happens, right? Now, if you're going 40 today in a 50 zone, are you doing anything illegal? It's most likely the answer is no, right? Because you're under 50s more than under 50. 40 is under 50. Now
that's the current law.
Exactly. And if tomorrow the law changes to 30, if you go 40, you're obviously in violation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you wake up tomorrow and realize, oh shit, the rules changed and it's now 30, I'm gonna pivot and now drive safer. I'm gonna go 30. Then you're okay, right? The only instance where it's an issue is if the laws change to 30 tomorrow and they say everyone who's been driving above 30 in the last month is going to get fucked.
Exactly. That's the concern.
Right. But the concern is, I mean, the thing is that it doesn't really make any sense because at least the way I see it, I mean, obviously this is all speculation. There's Ethereum, for example, is transitioning to staking, right? So now the government has a lot less reason to make staking a big issue because the people backing Ethereum are the same people that they want to make rich, right? I mean, obviously not one-to-one, but the idea is that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot if staking, specifically on Ethereum, is a problem. Now, if staking on Ethereum is a problem, well, I guess that's the end of that. But if it's not a problem, well, then the argument comes, why is staking on one chain a problem but not on the other, right? Why is staking on Ethereum a problem if not on Cardano or Solana or VeChain or whatever else you can stake out there? So they're very, like my interpretation of this is they're very careful because they want to create some rules, like the US specifically, but they also don't want to shoot themselves in the foot and piss off everybody outside of just retail, like VCs and the people that are accumulating very quietly, to put simply.
Well, I was about to say, like, yeah, like when you said retail, there's some huge fucking names. I mean, and we already know, like, yeah, like, you know, you got Adidas, you got a lot of these companies that are coming in and doing stuff NFT wise, but then you have these, again, big motherfuckers like Louis Vuitton and whatnots, like rolling up in there and stacking, and like, you know, like you already know, like, you know, Wall Street, them dudes have been stacking that shit too, and you have actual real companies that you know, their portfolio is growing in a lot of these, you know, cryptos. So as you know, some of the ecosystem is relying on NFTs, you know, not just because it's a buzz, but because there's a major theoretical future for them. Some of these big fucking companies are going to be caking.
Yeah, but also not just that, but it's also people like BlackRock, right? People that the big like the mega corporations almost that have a play. They have GBTC, GF, like the ETFs, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these people are going to be affected negatively if things go south. And quite frankly, if you are a big corporation and crypto is a potentially big area to make money in, right? Would you rather follow the US's rules or just go offshore? And the US doesn't benefit from any of that business. What's the better option? Just from a business perspective, right?
Change the laws to make it benefit those that are starting to stack now anyways.
Exactly. So exactly, because nobody wants to lose money, especially the US. The government already overspends every year. But the idea is that, I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But the idea is that I think that's the reason why it's also taking so long. Because if it was an easy answer, I'm sure the rules should have already been passed. I mean, we've seen crypto, Bitcoin, and it collapsed twice, right? I mean, it went up and went down. Like look at 2018 and look at 2014 or 15, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, why wasn't something done then, right? And I mean, maybe there's other reasons, but the way I see it is, crypto is going to be part of our future downstream.
Well, I mean, even talking about that, I mean, there's so much infrastructure in place, and even you know, Stripe just announced today, you know, that they're building more infrastructure as well for crypto. So, I mean, a lot of the major players in the you know, transactions infrastructure or financial infrastructure is already being put in place. So, I mean, it's a lot of money to be putting out there without them having any kind of signal that it's going to go under. So, I think a lot of these big institutions already have an idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, or I think also
like regulation and stuff would be fine. Like if it's like okay and not detrimental would be okay.
right. I mean, no, absolutely. And I think the issue that people have today is they don't know what's going to happen, right? So when you don't know something, you have to assume the worst case because that's how you design things, right? You want to be you're in a position where you're safe. Now, the worst case is everything is shit and everything's horrible. But realistically, it's probably not going to be that. Of course, nobody knows for certain. But the way it looks like is, I mean, it's very interesting because in hindsight, when like 5, 10 years ago, everybody's like, oh, it's so obvious, right? All these people already did this, some things and whatever. It should have been very obvious to us. But in the moment, it's not so obvious. We don't know. And so today we have to make decisions, not just the product, but just each of us individually. We need to make decisions based on what we think is best for ourselves, right? And there's also a scenario where we are ahead of the smart money, right? So we look like dumb money because we're in front of the smart money. And then as soon as the smart money rolls in, if it rolls in, it's like, oh, wait, this is so obvious from the start, right? You know, why would you have gotten in there? I mean, I don't know. This is all just speculation, of course. But going back to Cardano Crocs Club, we're building with the anticipation with the anticipation of certain things happening in a certain way. And there are also, outside the US, there are also other areas that are giving us guidelines for what they're expecting. For example, in the EU, at least now, anything DeFi doesn't count. I mean, to put bluntly, right? They can't track it, and they admitted it. So what they're going to focus on is the on-ramp and off-ramp. And I think that's a acceptable compromise, at least until more tools come out and things change. Whether the US will follow that, who knows? But the government's not going to admit they don't know anything, because that defeats the purpose of the government and also destroys trust of the people. So they can't say that. But who knows?
There were also, I was hearing something like that, like with the whole FTX saga, like you're having people looking at, like the government looking more so like at exchanges and stuff like that. So as long as like not everything's like categorized as a digital asset, NFTs and like that type of stuff might like be looked at down the road. Well, like maybe even a couple of years, maybe even. But like, you know, that's what they were thinking, because like now they're going to be looking at exchanges and looking to regulate that first and foremost, unless everything's just categorized as a digital asset.
So it's interesting because like cryptocurrency, like specifically Bitcoin, Bitcoin is technically considered digital property. Like even within the realm of assets, it's considered property. So Ethereum, I think, also falls into the same boat. And what's interesting is because property, if it's the way it's written in law, at least today, from my understanding of it, if you are given property, you are not necessarily gaining or having to file until you sell that property. Let me rephrase that. If you make ETH, staking ETH, and it's given to you for free, that itself may not be a taxable event until you go and sell said ETH. So property is interesting because digital property is a very specific thing. You also have real property like houses, right? Because I mean, another argument is why can't they sell my Bitcoin and then change it into a house or something, right? Just I mean, that's a term for real estate if you're familiar with that. But you can't, because it's a digital property instead of a real property, which is a house or some sort of living space. Now, again, digital property, it's very unclear because as technically you can spin it in a way that staking rewards, for example, are fine, because you you receiving the asset is quote unquote okay. I mean, I don't think the IRS is going to agree, but at least according to the law, you can read it that way, and it's not a problem until you sell it, right? So going back to all our tokens, let's C4 for example. I mean, if C4 is digital property, let's just say, then staking rewards are technically okay. I mean, again, we don't know what's going to happen, how they're going to change it. It's just basically the laws are outdated, they need to be updated. But if you go into the technicalities, there's a lot of gray areas. And it's interesting because there was a case, I think it was in 2019, someone was staking, I forgot what it was. It was one of the tokens, and basically they reported the staking as income to the IRS in the US. And the IRS said, no, this is not done right. So, I mean, they went back and forth, and basically they sued the couple, they sued the IRS and demanding, how do we file our taxes properly? Because we reported this as income, and they're telling me it's not. And to put simply, the end result was that staking was not considered income. I mean, that was, at least for that particular case, I mean, obviously I generalized it a lot, but it goes to show that even the agencies are not fully understanding what we're dealing with here.
Because again, we're still that early. But listen, Asung, you got a lot to say, and it's awful. Like this has been a fantastic interview, and I'm not trying to cut it off. But as we know at Wildcards, what we fucking do is thank you, Roy.
The champ is here.
What we like to try to do is keep it at a certain amount of time for the recorded space. So we blase blah. We already said it. We upload that to all the podcasts because y'all are listening to Wild Cards, bitches. It's Friday night, and we are here with the Cardano Croc motherfucking club. Like, seriously, A-Song with the ill information. And again, I'm not trying to cut you off, and I really want you to come back when we do the uncut version in a handful of minutes anyways. But like, again, just for the sake of the podcast, for the sake of all that, I got to cut us off in a minute anyways and restart it. But like,
much love for sure.
I couldn't stop you. I couldn't stop you at any point because like there was no point that's appropriate for me to be like, okay, we're gonna stop now, and because like you were just hitting us with that information and again like
nuggets,
hey
nuggets,
Stevie,
definitely.
mad
I don't know
nuggets.
If
this is like the first time, but like I mean, we've had like so many good people, like and so many good guests like come up. But like this was like one of like the few times that like we just want him to keep going and talking. We're just all
got
listening
dreamy eyes got dreamy. What?
Dreamy guys was fucking running across the beach.
Of course. You hear A-Sun talking? How do you not get dreamy? Come on.
Hey now.
No, but seriously, A-Song, like this information has been great, and like you present it in a really fucking gangsta and fluid way, and we all fucking appreciate it. That's why, usually we kill it a hot minute ago and we're like, okay, we're going to wrap it up. But like, there was no point where it would have worked to do that, brother. So for real, like, thank you. Not even just for the project, but how you threw down on that shit, like.
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for having me on here, Steve. This won't be the last time. So, wild card, bitches.
There we go.
It's official. He's honorary member.
So for real, thank you, Cardano Crocs Club. Again, come back to the unrecorded in a handful of minutes. The past almost 2 hours have been insane. We've heard a lot of shit from the OGs, the mutants, the babies, the pass, the burning, the lands, the arcade, the staking, the legality of it all, the gaming fucking license and all that shit, and the notion of stable coins. Like, this dude gave us a whole shitload of information. And again, this ain't financial advice. Scroll through Twitter, ask your homies, like check out a Discord. I don't like Discords, but I actually go to this Discord because I've been playing poker through that shit just to know what's going on.
Wild card poker night.
Yo, and motherfuckers, like, for real. So like we did mention a handful of minutes ago that Don't
look at Steve's timeline.
Don't look at my timeline is number one. Number two, apparently there's gonna be a fucking what? Poker tournament of some sort. Details are going to be released in the future, but like we're going to do a poker tournament. We're going to be doing it through the Cardano Crocs Club. We're going to fucking get bonkers. We're probably going to do either a Twitter space, maybe a U-Tizzle on there. I don't know, but we're going to do something fucking we're going to do something bananas. So, again, this is going to be a secret shout to a bunch of these homies that I'm already going to wink at real soon about like, yo, get your game on Smash. We're going to get this big fucking poker tourney going on with a whole bunch of C4. We're going to win something. I don't know. Maybe D Clay's going to give another 2K away. I don't know. Shit
Maybe
is
little
bonkers.
Ruthie just going to swipe the table. Who knows?
Hemmy's still that first fucking 2K.
Everybody's still waiting on that first 2K. You know what I'm saying? Right, Mom?
Wild card.
Wait, you guys didn't get yours?
Still not there. I just checked it.
You didn't get yours? Oh, shoot. I'm
waiting for the airdrop.
I always look at the wild cards junk drawer to see if it's filling up with all those 2Ks that he's giving away, and it ain't. It's only filling up with shit. For Christ's sake.
He's doing the 3-in-1, so I don't blame him.
Yo, he deserves it for shit's sake. So listen, okay, you heard it. You've been listening to fucking Friday Night with who? And like, we just kicked it with the Cardano Crocs Club. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of rock it was? What? Yeah, it was. And like, we had that dude telling us mad shit. We know what's good. It was one of those nights. There were crocodiles up in here, and like, we kept it pretty tame. We kept it like wild cards, but like we got that info tonight. This was a different one, kinda.
The
like,
Crocs kept us tamed. We're
the Crocs kept us tamed, and I'm telling you something. A-Sung was not fazed by fucking Homeboy.
Nope.
which
ran
is
the
really
gauntlet.
fucking helpful. Like he really did.
Shut
like,
up, baby, Dick.
Not at
all right,
all.
I get it. So listen, I was just told to shut up again, and we're gonna kill this one. We're gonna bring it back in about a minute. So thank you, everybody. Y'all know who it is.
Appreciate y'all for
Yeah.
showing up. Mad love to every one of y'all.
You take us out, Taxi. Let's go.
Oh, you, Henry.
Oh, me.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Get him with the voice, Baba. Go ahead, Baba. Run it out.
Shout out Super Bowls.
Shut up, baby.
What's up, Swaggins?
That's right, I said hammy.
Swag mania.
Shout out to Ada Girl. Got our boy Reddick in the house. Crypto Cash. Wallet Wednesday. Classic today.
Thank you for listening to Wild Cards. Please rate and review and share the podcast. The more the merrier. And until next time, have a kick-ass day. Thanks for listening.